Hi everyone, I'm Miss Alyssa and I'm here at the Azusa City Library, and today we are making Peep slime. Yay! That sounds like a lot of fun. So I have a little picture. Does anyone know what Peeps are made of? Peeps are generally made of marshmallows, and inside marshmallows is something called gelatin. Gelatin is what helps set the marshmallows up. Now if you think about it, Peeps are a very thick liquid. They are not actually solid because if you squish a peep, what happens? It flattens, right? So Peeps are a very thick liquid and they become thick due to the gelatin. Now, let me go ahead and get this other graphic up. We have something called viscosity, and basically what that means is how thick a liquid is. Or if you can see there, it says viscosity is a measure of a fluid's resistance to flow. So if you pour water out of a cup, it pours out pretty easily. Now if you pour honey out of a cup, does it pour as easily? Not so much. That means honey is more viscous than water. And it's the same with our Peeps. Now a Peep won't pour out of anything because it's very thick right now due to the gelatin, but we're going to kind of reverse that action by melting the Peep, adding some heat to it, and that breaks down that gelatin bond so that it will become more, or it will become less viscous. So let's go ahead and just get started. How does that sound? So I have my instructions up here. There we go. So our first is we're going to add our Peeps. So everyone should have at least 2 Peeps. If you have more at home, feel free to add more. We're going to add our Peeps into a microwavable bowl or cup. I have a little measuring cup here that I'm going to use. If you have like a microwavable bowl, feel free to use that. So I have my 2 Peeps, and we're going to add just a little bit of cooking oil. It's going to help it so that it doesn't stick too much. So I'm just going to add a little bit, and then I'm going to stir them up so they're coated, okay? So that was our first step. We got our Peeps in our cup, and we got our oil in the cup too. And the next step is we're gonna microwave this for about 30 seconds, okay? So I have a microwave off camera here. Let me just go ahead and add that in. And keep an eye on it while you're microwaving. You wanna make sure that it doesn't puff up too much. So let me go ahead and do 30 seconds. All right. So just to keep a little something to keep in mind, this is gonna get hot, so be careful when you touch it. Your microwave might make it hotter than my microwave is making it. So make sure that when we remove our bowl or cup from the microwave that we are being very careful, and you might even need a pot holder or some kind of a kitchen towel to make sure that you can safely remove it from the microwave, okay? So I got a couple more seconds left, and my cup has a handle, so I know I can safely grab the handle, and we can already see our Peeps have exploded. So they're really puffed up, and you can see that it's sort of melted, broken down. They're no longer that sort of Peep shape. They have kind of just become a glob, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and coat my spoon with some oil. I'm just gonna play with this a little bit. So you can kind of see the Peeps are melted and very stretchy, very sticky. So we already have something a little less viscous than what we had before. So, but this is a little too sticky to handle with our hands. And again, I just touched the bottom of the cup. It is very hot, so be careful. Make sure we let this cool a little bit. Oh, we skipped the step. Carefully remove from the microwave. And then now we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of cornstarch. So in here, I have some cornstarch. Whoop. And this is going to help coat all of the little molecules in our slime and make it a little bit less sticky. So I'll add a little bit at a time. Okay, so I'm going to add just a sprinkle to start. A little sprinkle. Okay, I'm going to give it a mix. And we'll see what happens. It's sort of coming together. It's kind of bonding together a little bit more. All right, I think I'm going to add a little bit more. Give that a mix, and you're going to keep repeating that process until you've finished until you can notice that it's not as sticky. I still kind of see it sticking a little bit too much, so I'm going to add a little bit more cornstarch to there. And you may or may not need to use all the cornstarch I provided you in your kits. But oh, now I can kind of tell it's getting less sticky there. And at this point, if you want, you can very carefully test to see how hot it is. Mine's still a little too hot, so I'm gonna just let it, I'm just gonna keep using my spoon. I think I'm good on the cornstarch. So I'm good on the cornstarch. I'm just going to let it cool down. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to sprinkle a little cornstarch on my table, and I'm going to go ahead and pour this out onto here and see if I can knead it a little bit. So again, this is a little warm to the touch, and I actually, sorry, I have some gloves here. If you have gloves at home, feel free to use gloves. I'm just going to use gloves just because I don't have a sink ready next to me to wash my hands, so I'm just going to use a glove. And I'm going to very carefully, it's still pretty warm, I'm going to start kneading my slime. So it's sticking a little bit to my table, that's okay, that's why I have paper down on the table. But now I've got sort of something that I can handle a little bit better. Alright, and I can already see it's nice and stretchy slime. That was pretty easy, guys. All we needed was our Peeps and a little bit of oil for when we microwave, and then we have our cornstarch. And we made our little Peep slime. Now, as this cools, it will start to harden, and as it starts to harden because of the gelatin in the marshmallow that was in the Peep. Because when we added heat to our gelatin, it kind of relaxed and became less viscous. But once we cool that down, once the heat disperses, then that gelatin hardens it up. So I can already see it's losing its stretchiness already because it's already cooling down. But you can always just re-microwave it for a couple seconds, add a little bit more cooking oil, a little bit more cornstarch, and you're good to go. So you can try experimenting how much cornstarch you add, how much Peeps you add. Maybe you can try using regular marshmallows instead of Peeps. Just know that depending on the color of your marshmallow will depend on the color of your slime. Peeps come with a colored sugar, so this is already pretty sweet, but keep in mind that while it is edible, you can't eat this and it's non-toxic. It won't taste very good because of the cornstarch and the oil that we added. It'll kind of taste like a less sweet Peep. But if you use just marshmallows and some maybe powdered sugar, that's a good way to make some marshmallow slime, also known as fondant. So fondant is what they use on cakes to put little decorations on. That's made out of usually marshmallow fondant is usually made out of marshmallow and powdered sugar. So feel free to experiment with what you have home. The only thing I would recommend you not use is flour, because flour in its raw form, uncooked form, is not good for you. You should not eat raw flour. You always have to cook flour before you add it to anything edible. Okay, so there's my slime. Pretty simple. It's already, like I said, cooling down and it's hardening up, and I have like a nice slime rock now. Maybe you guys can try making a shape and then let it cool and it'll stay in that shape. So I'm going to remove my glove and let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what's up. So we just did our Peep slime, sorry. Coming up at the end of the month, or next Thursday, is our other level up at the library program, and then I'm excited to announce that we're going to have some really fun new technology at this event. We're going to have some VR headsets. So if you ever want to try out some VR, we have that available at our level up event on the 28th. And then don't forget we have Discovery Club. Those, sorry, the dates there say Thursdays in March, but it's actually April 7th, 14th, and 21st. So we have another Discovery Club this Thursday. And then we also have our Baby and Bots program. That's gonna be next Monday. We're gonna do a fun robot kind of light up circuit activity. And then this Friday we have our Dia de los Niños celebration, a music concert at the gazebo behind the library. That's April 22nd at 4 p.m. And then we also, the following Friday, April 29th, from 12 to 4, we're having our storybook festival, where we'll be showing some short storybook films on the big screen here in our library auditorium. So be sure to stop on by anytime between those hours there. You can check the film schedule on azusaca.gov/library. You can just scroll down, you'll see where it says storybook festival schedule that you can view. All right, and we also have, actually I think next Tuesday is going to be story time with Miss Jennifer, not Miss Ginger. But that is Tuesday at 11 a.m. And then of course we have my story time, Little Learning Hand story time, where I show you some ASL. That is Wednesdays at 11 a.m. And of course, don't forget to take our survey. Feel free to scan this QR code that you see on your screen, or click the link in the description box below so that you can take our survey and let us know if you have any upcoming ideas for STEM crafts. All right, and thanks again for joining me. I hope you guys had fun with your slime. I sure did, and keep in mind again, you can eat this, but it's not very tasty. So I would maybe try a little bit and then realize that it's not that great. But it is fun to play with. So I hope you guys had fun making some cool Peep slime. Ooh, let's see how far I can stretch it, and then it breaks. And I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye.